Alright, so I was asked by a few of my YouTube friends to do a tutorial in Premiere, and I'm not really good at it, so I'm not really sure how it will go. I apologize in advance, this is not scripted or anything. I'm just gonna show my workflow, how I edit videos. I prepared some files here in the project, just drag them in there, and they will eventually show up. They will probably process a little bit the sound, especially usually has to process when you drag them in. But here we got a short little video we did. I also got the audio we record. We record audio separately in Audacity. So I got that here as well. I got the background, and I'm also going to show how to easily do a background for your videos in Premiere itself instead of going back and forward between Adobe Photoshop, because it can be a little bit hard to get stuff into the correct position. But this is not the perfect way of doing it, but it's an easy way for someone starting out. So I'm gonna start with actually pulling my video just in here. And the first thing I want to do is add the audio, and that's the music I picked, Earthy Crust I believe it's called, from the YouTube library. And I'm gonna pull in the audio there, and to see the waveform you have to kind of make the layers a little bit higher. But I've changed the key maps, so this might go a little bit fast and zooming in and out and stuff like that. I apologize, just want to speed up the video. If you want to have the same key maps that I have, I'm gonna leave a link to a guy that did a great setup in the description that you can check out. Anyway, here I clap my hands, you can see that, and this is the recorded audio, and they are clearly not in sync here, so I'm gonna take the spikes I get from clapping my hands and put them somewhere around here. I need to zoom in, not zoom out. A little bit more, I think. So Premiere is a little bit tricky. Sometimes they are perfect and sometimes they are not. I'm not sure if it's Premiere's fault or if it's something with the recording. But that sounds good to me. So I'm gonna cut here and delete the area in front. It sounds quite bad right now because the microphone on my camera is crap. So the easiest way is just to click, now when it's synced, it's just to click here and take delete track. But if you want to remove just the audio from any clip, you can right click the clip and take unlink. This disconnects the audio from the videos. If you have other syncing problems sometimes, that's quite good, and then you can just delete it. Or you can click here, delete track. That's what I usually do. And we got a little bit more here at the end that's not supposed to be there. So now we got the audio synced, and we are going to add in the green screen. So I just move the video up a little bit, and I got a prepared green screen here. I'm gonna show you just in a minute how to make a background really easy, but let's just start with our challenge background that I'm actually going to use for this clip later. Right now you can't see it because we don't have the green screen effect on in effects. Here you can type Ultra for Ultra key, and you can also do a new custom bin. I've done one here, and I put my effects in there to save time. You can just drag them there, so as you can see I got a bunch of effects here that I use quite often. So I'm gonna take the Ultra key, Ultra key, and draw it, pull it towards the video. And then you can see it here in the effect controls. So with the eyedropper, I'm just gonna take a green color here somewhere. I can see that there is a little bit of distortion there, usually aggressive sort setup, but now I got more here. So you might have to fiddle around a little bit with the green colors to get a good one. With green screen, lighting is very important. If it's not properly lit, you will not get a good green screen at all. Ours is not properly lit, but it's not that bad either. So I don't like this here. I think that there is some there's definitely some grain in this area here that I don't like. Might be able to get rid of it by changing the color a little bit. I think that's a little bit better at least. So let's keep it at that. Now we got the green screen and the audio synced and the background. I usually nest this by selecting all and right clicking and take nest. You can type video 1 if you got multiple clips like a secondary camera or something. Don't have that in this case. Now what it does is it kind of puts these in a folder. You could call it a folder, I guess, in a separate project or something that you can cut however you like. So it makes it a lot easier to cut this. And if you want to see what's in it, just double click on it and you can edit this and make a different background or whatever. And any change that you make here will of course happen here. So if you want to change background to something else, let's make a background now. I said I would show that because that's something I've been asked quite a bit. I want a couple of layers free under the green screen layer. So the tricky part, you can do it in Photoshop or whatever program you want, but it's a little bit tricky to get it into the perfect position. So this is how I usually do it, actually. Not with this one though, even though I've kind of added some lightning effects and stuff like that from Premiere to this background. But let's make a new one. See here, I want that to add the logo to my project, like so. It's going to look like crap in the beginning, by the way, but I'm gonna show here in a second what I mean. Then we need any random background. This one here. It's a little bit smaller than the screen though, so it's going to look a little bit weird at first. So as you can see, this doesn't look like a good background at all. We can hide the other one so you see how it looks without the other background. But this doesn't look very good. So the files here, they are placed in order. The ones that are on top is at the top of the video. So the Let's Taste is on top of the background. We need to take the background and increase the size to make it a little bit bigger, something like that maybe. And of course we don't want the Let's Taste to be behind our backs. So we can easily right now just go to video effects, motion, and scroll it vertically up a little bit, something like this maybe. And one thing I don't like is when the background stands out too much. It's just going to be, I want something subtle that's in the background. So going to add a little bit of a blur, a Gaussian blur, this here, to the logo. Like this maybe. And take the same one. I'm just gonna copy that to the background as well. I think we have to paste here. There we go. And now I'm going to go back to the logo and change the opacity. And for some reason the opacity is already keyframed. I don't like that, so I'm gonna reset the keyframe by clicking here. Gonna get to that in a minute. And then change the opacity a little bit on the logo, something like that. And also change the opacity on the background, a little bit darker, something like that. That looks pretty good in my opinion. And now if you want this background so that you can just pull it in every time like I did with this background here, have it as a JPEG that you can put in anytime in any video. Just hide the video file, the top file, so that you only got the background left. And then click this tool here, export frame. And what that will do is save a screenshot of what you have at the screen right now. So this way you can be sure to get exactly the same background every time in every video. And I think that's a lot easier because it becomes perfect at once. But you can do a lot nicer stuff in like Photoshop or other 3D software and stuff like that. But if you're a beginner, this is a pretty good way to do a background. As you can see here now, the background has also changed. And if we hide these, take this one instead, we're back. So anything we do here does not affect what is here. All right, so let's see where we start. I think I can usually see that. So it seems like I start there. Can cut away all this in the front here.
Hi and welcome to Let's Taste. Hello, my name is Klaus and this is Jonny. And today we are doing another 1 minute challenge. Yeah!
Yeah, so I kind of assume that you know how to cut, but it's pretty much just the C and V button on the keyboard. V is the cursor and C is the cut, and that's pretty much all you need to do basic cutting. But we usually have some effects, so I've done effects earlier. We use this in pretty much every video nowadays, and these green screen effects that I've done myself. Just have to pull them in. It's very, very easy to use once you get used to it, and it's pretty nice to have them done already and not have to do them every time, because I don't really like cutting videos. It takes a long time. What I did was I added the ultra key on the little video that I made earlier. I put it above the other layer. So now
Hi and welcome to Let's Taste. Hello,
we get a little Instagram here.
Jonny. And today we are doing another 1 minute challenge. Yeah! And
so that's how easy that is. And I also got our little counter as well. So I'm gonna add that one in somewhere around there maybe. Gonna do the same thing. Add the Ultra key to it. And take the green color. This one is a little bit different because it's pretty big. I need to make more of those into different positions. But
a chocolate wafer in 1 minute. Yeah.
So this is not really acceptable. It's really big. It takes up half the screen. It's in the wrong position. So I'm gonna change the scale of it to something like that maybe, and move it up here in the corner.
Hi and welcome to Let's Taste. Hello, my name is Klaus and this is Jonny. And today we are doing another 1 minute challenge. Yeah! And this is
it's a little bit long time actually, so let's move it here.
My name is Klaus and this is Jonny. And today we are doing another 1 minute challenge. Yeah! And this is a chocolate wafer in 1 minute. Yeah, 1 minute challenge. And there was some...
There we go. So that's how that works. And if you want to do zoom, it's also something that I get asked a lot, how to do a zoom. Let's say that I want to zoom in here. The easiest way is just cut out a piece like this and go to effects up here and scale. Increase the scale and move it around how you want it. So if you want to counter like that,
saying that we should do this, but
there will be like a jump zoom in there. Okay, so if you want to do a slow zoom in, it's a little bit different. So I'm just gonna reset this. There we go. And if you want to map something, and in this case a slow zoom in, you have to map to different positions and scales. So I'm gonna activate these keyframes here. It's called animation, but what they really are pretty much keyframes. So now at this point only in this clip, I cut this out so that it would be separate from these two parts here, because otherwise it can get tricky to get stuff back. But in the beginning here, we now have, can hardly see them, but we have two keyframes there. So let's say that I want it to be fully zoomed in here. Then Premiere is pretty good at this. It does keyframes automatically now, so all I have to do is go and change the position to where I want it, like so. And it will zoom in for me.
That we should do this, but unfortunately the search in comments isn't working right.
So as you can see, that's pretty easy, and you can use keyframes on almost anything. I use it a lot actually. It's one of the most important things, I think. You can even use it on audio levels if you want to go up and down in audio and stuff like that. If you have done a cut but you haven't done any changes, you can delete the cut by just clicking on it and deleting it. But now I think we have our comment of the day somewhere here. Okay, so So around here we have the YouTube comment of the day. And I can show how I do that because it uses a lot of keyframes usually. I haven't really found any way to automate this for me. I have to do it every time. And as you can see, I dragged in the YouTube comment of the day for this video. I need to scale it up a bit, like something like that, and then pull it down here maybe. And then I like to use the basic 3D. If you just type basic 3D here, you got the under perspective in video effects. We can put that on the comment of the day that I just pulled in. It's gonna make it a little bit higher up, somewhere I think about there maybe. And what I want to animate is the tilt in this case. So let's say that I want, usually when doing this I move backwards instead. It's a little bit easier to animate backwards. So let's say that I want it to be fully tilted here. So I'm gonna put a keyframe at 0. And then I'm gonna go to the beginning of the clip and put it at 90. So now we got like a swivel or a tilt there. But I want it to be a little bit extra. So as you can see here, you can see the distance between the keyframes, and you can move this around if you like, and it's going to take a little bit longer and stuff like that. I just want to add a few keyframes. So let's say that I want it here to be swiveled a little bit forward instead. And then here a little bit like that. Something like that.
And today's YouTube comment. Yeah. And today's YouTube comment.
Okay, that doesn't look very good. So let's increase the distance a little bit here.
Yeah. And today's...
Okay, that's the wrong direction. I think that's was wrong.
And today's YouTube
okay,
comment.
There. So now we got like a little
I'm
not sure what it's called, dangling effect. And let's say that we want to crop it here. We use crop a lot actually in our videos. So let's write crop. That's a really handy effect. So let's say that I just want it to disappear from right to left. What I want to do is keyframe the right part of the crop, and then a little bit further up I just put it on 100%, and then it kind of disappears. So now the YouTube comment will come like this, and eventually it will just slide out like that. Let's see here. Let's say I want to make this further up instead, so I want it here, and now the keyframe is like over here. I can actually see the keyframes here. All I have to do is move them to the end, somewhere around, let's see, somewhere around there. I can see where it is.
We can get them, we will definitely try them.
Yeah, sounds interesting. So
yeah, thank you for the tip, and thank you for watching.
I think that covers most of the keyframes actually. As you can see, you can animate pretty much everything. You can animate position, scale, opacity, rotation. You can make pretty much everything do something else, whatever you like. And let's see if there is something else here. Yeah. Okay, let's cover the music as well, just because this is a quite basic tutorial. You can see on my timer here. So I can see on our timer here that it starts just about here. It's pretty hard to get the exact frame. I don't think it's possible. The timer isn't built that way. It doesn't count frames the same way and stuff like that. So I usually do a cut. As you can see, I made a cut there. That's to make it easier to put the music in. I just like to keep it simple. So I got Earthy Crust here from the YouTube library. It's way too loud in the beginning. So I'm gonna right click it and take audio gain and put it on -20 maybe. I think I want it to start a little bit after it says go, so maybe there. A little bit more. Okay, something like that. And we got, let's see here. This is where it ends. Okay, so it ends about here. You can see the little stop there. And obviously I don't want the sound to be this high when it stops. So I want to tone it down at the end. There is an effect that does that. It's called exponential fade. And I can put it here at the end of the clip. Not sure if this is 1 second. Yeah, that's 1 second. That's a little bit too little. But what you do is you double click the effect. I need to zoom in a little bit. Not like that. Okay, there. And I usually take 2 or 3 seconds. Okay, so that's a little bit of a spoiler if you haven't seen this episode yet. Sorry about that. So that's the audio. If you want to add a time code on the screen, there probably are other counters, but what I usually use is time code. And now I can't really click anywhere right now because it's full, but you can still click up here. So it's easiest to click where there is no clip, but up here works as well. So I'm gonna make a counter, new item, have to take transparent video. And then I'm gonna put the transparency above the time lapse here. I know that it starts where I cut and then it ends pretty much where I cut. Let's see here. I can make it a little bit longer. So this is really should do a countdown. I'm not sure if you can do that with time code, but let's see. This is just how to do a normal count. The effect is called time code. It's in my custom bin here, so we just write time here and you will get time code. Just drag that and you will get this thing on the screen. It looks pretty bad in the beginning, I guess. It's not that great. Prefer to just use our own counter. As you can see, it's just totally off right now. I removed the field symbol here, if you didn't see that. And I want to change the timecode source to generate, and that means that it goes from 0 where it is. So when it starts here, it kind of starts to count up. I'm not sure if you can. I don't think I can do a countdown with this, actually. It's just, I don't think it's able to do a countdown. It might also differ a little bit from our timer, because our timer is not great. But this is how we do a time code in Premiere. If you want to speed a part up, we can take that as well while at it. Usually we speed up our videos when we do long stuff. Then you have to take nest before you do anything, so that you get it into a nested sequence. Now you can speed this up and also the clip itself. So make a cut here and let's see, a cut here maybe. Want to speed these 2 clips up. Just have to select them. Take speed duration, and the higher you go, the faster it becomes, and the lower number, the slower it gets. So if you take 500, then it will obviously go really fast. And as you can see, the timer also goes faster up there. The sound, however, is pretty messed up if you do it this way, so I usually pull them down into a separate layer and mute that. So that's how we do that. If you want to do this kind of weird voice effects, we can do that really fast. Let's take something here maybe.
That we should do this. If we find it, we will write.
We can take sorry here. So sorry. We can do a little effect here. If you use the track select forward tool, there is also backwards. I have those mapped. And I actually follow one other guy on his key bindings, and I really like his way of working and how he did the key binds. I'm gonna link to him in the description, and you can see how I'm using the same key binds pretty much. But I got the track select forward here, and you can just grab, and it will grab everything in the entire video and move it forward. Because when you make a clip slower than it originally is, it will become longer in the timeline. So speed duration, let's lower it to 80.
So sorry. Sorry.
Can even make it, raise up the volume a bit, I think 5 maybe. +5.
So sorry.
I need to write -5. -5. Add the speed duration to 100 again. And now I think we only got sorry.
The comment, so...
No.
So sorry.
Okay, so there you can hear it sounds a little bit weird. You can lower it even more to like 70, it will sound even weirder.
Sorry.
Usually you can even do a zoom in there at the same time.
So
sorry. Sorry.
If we find it,
Yeah, so something like that. If you got some funny thing you want to do, it can it can make it a little bit funnier than it is, or if it isn't fun at all, it can make it a little bit funny. But if you want to do the kind of smurf thing, you have to just speed it up instead, so maybe 110.
so sorry.
A little bit more, maybe 120.
So sorry.
No.
So sorry. If we find
Speed duration again, like 130 maybe.
no. So sorry.
Oh well. But you will have to tweak that to your liking. And one thing that I haven't noted, I can feel my voice is giving up on me a little bit. It usually do that. But there is one thing you should do, and that is to set the auto-save in preferences to be like 5 minutes or so. And we should probably do the end of this video as well, real fast.
Yeah. Thank you.
and see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
So that's where it ends. And we can do add in the Instagram and Facebook. It's also effect that I have already made.
But that was a quick little 1-minute challenge.
Yeah.
If you want to see more of this,
As you can see, you come downstairs. But I will have to use the Ultra key on it to make it look proper. So there we go, Ultra key, and remove the green. Then we got the
1-minute challenge.
Yeah.
If you want to see more of this,
the Instagram and
give us
Facebook
a
drop down there.
thumbs up on this video, and we will do more of them.
So that's how we do that. And the last thing I want to go through is my settings when I export. So when you're done, you want to make sure that the part, not this one, not this mini project or what you call it, but the real one, the final cut one, is the one you have selected. Then you take export media, and this is the settings that I usually use. Let's go to raw, and you don't have to use this one. Just I think it looks a little bit better for us under effects there, but under video, let's see here, up here, from the top, H264 as the format, and the preset is custom. And I recommend that when you have set all this, you just click here and take save preset, so that you can just select it here in the list whenever you like, as I did now. I really can't remember it otherwise. But export audio and video unless you just want one of them. If you want to edit the audio, it goes pretty fast. Just export out the audio by itself. You open it up in Audacity as a WAV file or something. You have to change here to waveform audio. So H264 is what we use, and also VBR 1 pass and bitrate between 14 and 22. I think I got this from Yates 2 cents actually, so it's pretty much his settings. And then we just use the use previews, and what that does is that it uses the stuff that you have been watching, and that makes it a lot faster to render. And you can actually publish directly to YouTube. I didn't know that. Pretty nice. And then it's just to select your name, checks everything is correct. You can see how much space it will take. So this would take like 448 megabytes of storage. Then it's click export and wait until it's done. And then you're done. So yeah, that's my pretty long now tutorial in my workflow on Adobe Premiere. But that's it for this time. If you want to see more of these tutorial videos, leave me a thumbs up on this video. And also consider subscribing. Thank you for watching and see you next time.